Well, we're back with another great video. Now, today I did not plan on filming a video. As you can tell, even my hair is not blow dried. Every time I'm doing a video, I always make sure that it's done, it's straight. But you know what? Today we're just gonna wing it. I don't usually use a script anyway, so I just go off whatever pops up in my mind. And if something does not make sense, then that's why editing exists, and I'll just take out that scene. Today, I realized that I need to do orders, but in order to do those orders, I have to restock certain products. Specifically, what I need are some more Bible covers in the bow design. This one's cherries right here, but they have similar colors. It's like reddish pink. I'll end up showing it to you anyways. Now, every time I gotta do these products, I do like overthink it because it has quite some details to it. It's not just the exterior, but inside of these, I do make little pockets. Depending on the size that a person orders, it will depend how many pockets I have to do. So, for example, this is like one of the smaller sizes, so it just has pockets on the left side, but whenever it's like a larger size, it usually has them on the right and it has an extra compartment. So it's a lot of small details to think about, but today I'm going to try to get ahead as much as I can. If I only have time to make one book sleeve, then that's all I'm going to be showing here. But if I can make more sizes, then of course I'll give you a behind the scenes into that as well. So like I mentioned, wasn't planning on filming today, but here goes another video. So hope you guys enjoy. I came to the opposite side of my desk because we need to grab our fabrics. That's of course the first step for this, but I need two hands, so just bear with me a bit. Clearly, I have a full collection of fabrics to work from, but like I mentioned, today I'm using the pink bow design, so that's the one that I grabbed. That's actually one of my personal favorites, so I'm not surprised why people like it. And I love it so much that I got it in the smaller print. So this one I use for keychains, and then the bigger design is obviously for bigger products like the Bible cover. So for now, let's get started with this one. I didn't realize this little foam fell out of my microphone. There's always something going on behind the scenes, but we try to make it work. I'm definitely going to need my ruler as well as my cutter, which I mentioned in the last video. If a crafter does not have this, you are definitely missing out. Skip the scissors. This makes your life a little bit simpler. Sorry guys, I'm supposed to be looking in this direction, but I ended up looking over here. But for now, I'll continue from this side. Of course, I also need some little pins. My other ones are on the keychains right now, so that's why I'm like very low on them, but we're gonna work with what we have. Because apart from that, I also use these little clips, so I'm gonna just mix and match it anyways. And I'm also going to need some of this batting. I've tried different brands, but for right now, this is the one that my store had, so this is what we're going to use. I'm going to double check what size the customer ordered for their Bible cover because I'm not sure if I mentioned it, but I do different sizes. So once I cut the fabric, basically that's the end to it. So I'd rather make sure that I have the correct information so we can get this product made and shipped off to the customer. So they would like a size large, which is like this design. It has the pocket on the right side, so it's a notepad pocket, a sticky note pocket, and then the pen or gel highlighter pocket, so it'll be on the right side. And for the lining, I'm going to do a hot pink. That one's beige, and most of them are beige or white, but because this design is very like out there, I want to do a popping pink for it. And really quick, because I have an opportunity, my husband's Bible is here and I wanted to show you, I made him this cover. On the front side, it doesn't have the pockets because this is the larger cover. But when you go to the back side, that's where he has, hold up, let me hold it a little bit better. You go to the back side, that's where it's the notepad pocket, which is the top one, the sticky note pocket, and then the pen or the gel highlighter pocket. So everything fits comfortably. And even when you close it, it's a nice comfortable close. I'm holding it with one hand, so I'm doing the best that I can. But you can see it doesn't like stick out as much as you would expect because of the pen. Like it's still a comfortable item. And he always has his things because he usually asks me for a pen, but I'm like, you have your cover now. Like make sure you put your pen in here. But these are super cute. So if you definitely want some, they're already on the website. But for now, we need to get back to the show. If not, I'm never going to finish this cover. So we already have the fabric and now it's time to get started on the project. I started off by, of course, unrolling my fabric. That way I can see how much I was working with. Since I do use it for other projects, I needed to see where it was cut from and all the angles. So I proceeded to cut off any extras because I wanted to keep a straight edge. Otherwise, if I try to use like all these pieces that are missing, then that can make it complicated. So I prefer to just work with a straight panel. So that's why I cut off all the extra. And so I had my straight edge and now it was time to get my other materials like the batting and do the same thing of getting the measurements. And I had cut off the inside lining as well. That's the beige that you saw before this batting. So at this point, I had the front cover, the interior batting, and then the lining for the project. So I had three different parts of equal measurements because those need to be the same. And then, continuing with this batting, I would definitely say just, be mindful that it does spread a lot of the little particles all over the place. So I constantly have to dust off my laptop because it's just like, I'm not sure to describe it as delicate or whatnot, but I just cut off what I needed and then I put it back into the plastic bag that it came with so it wouldn't get super dusty around my area. Either way, that's why I recommend having wipes to clean up your workspace. And then proceeding with the process, now that I had my panels, I could go ahead and iron them out. I think this is a very important part. That way, your measurements are coming out good. I do it after the cut, but that's because I have a little bit extra remaining. So, either way, it doesn't affect my measurements. So, that would be one of my tips. Because if I were to iron, this whole panel of fabric at once, like a whole yard, that would make it a little bit complicated. So, I just do an approximate cut for my measurements. I iron it out and then I measure it again. And if I feel that I need to take off some extra, then I'll go ahead to do that. Now to start the quilting pattern, I took my pins so I can go ahead and make a straight line with them. I did use my ruler to space them out about 2.25 inches. I think that's what it was, but I know it was a little bit more than 2 inches. I know I could have drawn a straight line with a like colored pencil that's specifically for fabric, but I just decided to do it this method. I've done it before and it has worked out, so I don't have to worry about having, like a little pen mark or anything like that, just using the pins and then taking them off as I need to. And of course, I have to give you guys different angles. These are my editing skills. Of course, I'm getting in my practice. Again, I did a straight line. This is just for you to be able to see how I aligned the pins and how that was a helpful format for me. Anyways, I didn't have the color pencil that I would need for the fabric. I had one, but I haven't used it in a while. I just used my pen, so that's what I stuck with. And then my bottom thread ended up running out, so of course I had to do that. To refill it, this is obviously an important process. I cannot sew without it. So proceeded to go ahead and make like three at a time. Sometimes I fill up like about 8 bobbins, but because I was already working on this project and my storage was running low, I just did three for the moment. But then I was able to continue with the quilting pattern, and I'm glad that everything was turning out great because usually when I try to rush and make products, it ends up taking me more time because I have to go back and like take out a certain thread or it just doesn't look right. So definitely recommend, just take your time with the product. Do not rush. I'm talking from experience. Whenever I actually take my time, the products come out good. So it is definitely worth it. Continuing on to the second stage for making this book sleeve or book cover, we could call it, I had to do the inside lining panel. So these were two rectangular shaped pieces of fabric. Instead of using a solid beige or white, which is the color that I usually use. So that's part of the fun process of making these, so you can customize them however you would like and offer it to the customers. I currently have custom options, but that's only for sizing. It's not specifically for them to choose the color of their lining. Now in the future, as I have more fabric material, that's something that I would like to try out, but of course that's up to you and whatever you decide. But specifically for this pattern, because the bows are a bright color, that's why I chose this lining so everything could fit in and match perfectly together. So that's why you see me right here sewing up the edges. And then I could proceed to make the pocket, which is one of the more consuming pieces for me. Everything else for the most part is just a straight stitch all the way down, but here I had to create the pocket compartments and it has like three different sections. So it's two pieces of fabric and that's what I was cutting out right here, trying to get the square measurements because it has a notepad pocket, which is the bigger portion, but that also divides into a pen pocket. And then the second piece of fabric is for a sticky note pocket, which goes on top of the first panel. So two different pieces. And then I was trying out a new format of using my ruler and my iron to see if it makes it easier to get the seam straight across. If not, I do have to adjust them because if the seam does not come out straight, it makes the product look a little bit weird. But I was trying out different methods and I find that using the ruler was a little bit helpful. But a good thing I double checked the footage because I almost ended off the video right here. But I was playing it back and I was like, wait, it seems like I'm missing a scene. And clearly I was, because the last scene was me trying to figure out the measurements and folding the seams so I could make this stitch right here for the pockets. So good thing I reviewed that video, because if not, you guys would have missed this complete section of the ending, which is me putting those final touches, adjusting any measurements, touching up my workspace so it's not too much of a mess. And although my needles do most of the work, I do sometimes manually use a needle. That way I can get the stitches nice and secure. I'm an overthinker, so I like to make sure that the products my customers get are up to their quality and that they're going to hold up well. So if I have to do an extra stitch by hand, then that's exactly what I'm going to do. In this part, I had turned on my iron and I preheated it. That way I could press it against the book sleeve and it could have a nice like solid finish to it, you know, from all the crinkling around, all the sewing, it can get really bent. So I like to make sure that it's going to arrive neatly because that's what the customer deserves. And next I had to decide on packaging. When it comes to book sleeves, I don't just throw it into a poly mailer. Instead, I like to use a box. And before putting it inside the box, I do like to wrap it in this paper. I bought it from Dollar Tree, and of course it has several sheets in it, so it was really affordable and it has been helpful. For smaller items, I can throw those into a clear poly bag, so that's what I did for the matching pouch. And that was just to get it out of the way since it would be much simpler for me to package, and then I could continue focusing on the actual book sleeve, because I was also trying to figure out, do I want to put it inside of the paper or do I want to put it on top? So this is all up to preference. However, you know, a company decides to package their items. For me, I like the items to stand out, so I did end up deciding on the pouch to go on top of the book sleeve, but you guys will see that as the video progresses. Another important thing was to measure the size of the box against the paper that I was folding. That way, if I needed it to be trimmed or be much shorter, I can increase the fold line just so it fits good enough and it doesn't have to be squished. And because threads can get all over the place, I was just doing a final check to make sure there wasn't no loose things on the inside or on the outside cover. And to finalize the paper, I did tuck in the end of one side. That way I can fold it and place a sticker on top and it makes it look neater. And about those stickers, I'm so grateful for a recent PR package that I received. It was from another small business that supplies pegboard accessories. I'll leave their name down below because, as you can see, it was really helpful to have my sticker roll on my pegboard because I could easily stretch out my hand and just place it onto the package. So very helpful, and I like to support other small businesses as well. Now in this next part, I was selecting the freebie stickers that I was going to include for this package. Because they did order 2 products, I decided on 2 color matching stickers. So this one had like a hint of yellow and some like lilac color with some orange tones. So I thought it was a really cute compliment. And this is another great thing of personalized packages, that no 2 packages are the same. So always make sure that you're shopping handmade because it's definitely personalized. Now, before proceeding, of course, I had to give a close-up look of the final package once everything was included. The only thing that was left was to print out an instruction sheet. It does have 2 sides to it, so I cut it out, then I folded it, everything was finally packaged, and this customer I know is so happy and awaiting their item to arrive. So while I was filming the intro for this video, I also took advantage to film the end of it, just because I knew my hair is going to get crazy throughout the time that I am sewing. So again, thank you so much for being here. I really hope that you enjoyed the video. And yeah, make sure you check out all the other content. I've been posting different videos. I'm trying to make it like fun and interesting, but you are more than welcome to leave me some ideas below, anything that you want to know. I already have a notebook with a list of other topics that I want to cover, but of course I have to plan out every single one. What exactly am I going to be talking about? And even then, I don't like to use a script, but for some of those topics, I may have to use it just so I don't go off topic. If you do want a longer video, of course, let me know. Like, I'm very open to ideas, and of course, that helps me out too. So, yeah, that's it for this video. Hope you have a great day, and God bless you.